What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of NFL Turf Talk. We are live here, as always, on the DSM Media Twitter channel, as well as the DSM Turf Talk YouTube channel. So, guys, first and foremost, do us a favor, do yourselves a favor. If you want to check us out on Twitter, it's at DSM_media, Make sure to hit that follow button, and then check out the link tree in our bio. It will take you to every social media platform we are available on. But if you want to be interactive throughout any of the Turf Talk live streams like tonight, or Sunday mornings to get you ready for the full slate of games, make sure to tap into the YouTube link specifically. Subscribe, share it with your friends, family, any other football fans that you may know that could enjoy the content. I'm one half your host, Dylan Davis. To my left, my faithful co-host, Scotty. This is our Week 9 recap show. We got some Thursday night football out in the AFC West to talk about tonight, and a chaotic trade deadline, man. We're going to get into the winners and losers of the deadline. Some comments were made from Bengals players that we got to talk about. A lot going on in this busy Week 9 slate. And the Birds didn't even play. We got to sit back, relax, and take it all in while the Eagles improved in the standings, improved as a team. So it's going to be a fun show for us here. HP, what's going on? Let's get into it, brother. Happy Thursday.
Yeah, happy Thursday, brother. I think you hit the nail on the head with the list of topics to get into, leading into, obviously, Week 10. Do we call this the halfway mark at this point? Yeah, roughly-ish, right? Because every team has played about 8 to 9 games, right? We're about halfway there. This should be a fun week, man. Obviously, we'll get into the trade deadline, some moves that were made over this last week in this show, and then this weekend should be fun too as we get into a little bit of mid-season awards, and just thinking about who it's kind of came out the gates on fire. There's a lot of candidates for MVP in my book right now, the way this league has kind of faced a lot of variance. But I'm happy to be here with you, brother. Happy Week 10, but we do got to finish and close out Week 9 nonetheless. And I think we'll do it the right way. But yeah, AFC West matchup, Raiders and Broncos.
It's not the greatest of Thursday night games. Look, I guess it's been worse in the past, technically. Like, maybe that tonight turns into a blowout and it ends up being quite a boring game. I know it's like windy out in Denver. It's like 30, 40 mile per hour wind gusts. So we'll see what type of, offense you can expect out there tonight. But at least there's one good to great team playing tonight. It's not like it's the Raiders versus the Browns or any other Thursday night football that we've been, succumbed to watching in the past.
Fair.
Jose,
got the Ravens and the Dolphins last week, 28-6.
Right. At least you
that was pretty brutal.
Back. I guess there was more leading into that game. You could hope that Tua and the offense was going to look okay going into it. Obviously, they don't, and that game becomes a rout, which I'm kind of expecting tonight. Gino and that team have just been a complete and utter disaster. They trade away Jacoby Myers, which we'll talk about. But let's start there, man. Let's start at the trade deadline. Well, let's get into some winners, to some losers, to some just overall non-movement. Obviously, the other day we discussed on Faithful Fanatics some of the Eagles' moves, and that was pre-deadline day, right? Or it was the Jalen Phillips was acquired the day before, as well as Michael Carter a couple days prior, and Jair Alexander, I cannot speak right now, acquired in between all that. So the Eagles were very, very active in their bye week. Howie Roseman is one of the big winners. I guess the biggest winner outside of the Eagles, or maybe even ahead of the Eagles in people's minds, the Colts go out very aggressive. They take note. Kind of start the fire sale that took place in New York with the Jets. Yeah. They go out and they get sauce, man. I want to throw this to you because you had some, not questions, but you had something to say in the group chat about it. Like, obviously, it's a big-time trade. It's a huge name. It's a huge get for a team that's been looked at as one of the more complete, one of the best teams heading into last week before that loss against the Steelers in Indianapolis. But what is Sauce Gardner, I think, was kind of your question, right? Like, people, the name, the high draft pick, the first year on the scene, people kind of talk about Sauce like he's the best corner in the league at times, or he's top 2, or he's top 3. That Jets defense has been a problem over the last year and a half, 2 years. Is he just getting lumped in with the rest of the problem and he's going to shine in Indianapolis and be a difference maker? Or what do you make of this trade?
I think just to get out in the forefront of it, because you were spot on. I am a little what's the right word for my opinion on
Reserved?
Sauce? Little reserved, yeah, a little reserved on Sauce Gardner and what he has done of late, right? And I brought this up in the group chat with me, you, and a couple other people, I believe.
Yeah.
But nonetheless, the questions around Sauce Gardner, is he really this prolific number one corner, top corner in the NFL? I don't know that he's been that the last couple years. I say last couple of years, last 2 years, last year and a half ish. He has not been that top lockdown corner. With that being said, he's still been top 10-ish corner in the NFL. Sure. I think it's just when he gets mentioned up around the names of Pat Surtain and Derek Stingley Jr., right? Those type of legitimate elite number ones. I'm talking number one and number two. I just don't think he's up there with those guys, at least of late. That doesn't mean he can't get back there. He's 25 years old. He's going to a much better organization from the outside looking in the Indianapolis Colts. And to be very clear, while I'm skeptical that Sauce is like just this prolific, up for number one corner in the NFL is what I'm getting at, right? I'm not trying to diss Sauce too much here. I don't want to get taken out of context. No. He was regarded as by far the number one corner in the NFL, 2 years ago? 2 seasons ago, right? And the last few seasons, he's kind of lived off of that reputation. That Jets defense has not been very good. No. The back end has not been very good, and he is a part of that. That being said, I think it's a risk, if you want to call it a risk, that the Colts have to take on a young cornerback, that all he has to do is get his confidence back, get around some guys that are flying around, playing confident defensive football, and have a balanced attack, right? Like, not be on the field all the time. I think that's a big part that can play, it can benefit him going to Indianapolis, having some balance on the other side of the football to kind of keep you off the field and keep your energy levels up. So, I do want to see him get back to that level, though, that everybody is kind of just penciling him in as just this top corner in the NFL. And I don't think he's played to that level this last season or so.
And to your point, he hasn't, right? And it's very easy to just do a Google search and say, oh, well, here's the accolades. And it doesn't tell the whole story, right? Because the Jets have been such a disaster. But like you said, when he burst on the scene in 22, he's the 4th overall pick. He won Rookie of the Year. He made first team All-Pro in 22 and 23. He made the Pro Bowl in 22 and 23.
Yeah.
We're approaching 2026, right? So to your point, the last a year and a half, 2 seasons-ish for Sauce Gardner, the recognition obviously hasn't come with the play, and maybe they definitely are related. So I totally agree with you. I wouldn't even call it a risk because, even if Sauce isn't a top 3 corner in the league, Sauce is a top 7, top 8, top 9 corner in the league, somewhere in that atmosphere, in that category, right? So if you're the Colts, you're getting a top player at his position to help you go on hopefully a championship run. Whether you and I believe that Daniel Jones can lead them there or not is TBD. Right. But Sauce obviously helps push them closer. And from the Jets standpoint, man, people are, start freaking out. What are the Jets doing? What are the Jets doing? Why are you trading one of the only young, prominent prospects, one of the guys you hit on recently? Get 2 first, and they made a lot of other moves, which we're going to get into in a moment. And I think the Jets did the first smart thing they've done in years, man. I mean, at that point, I probably would have just sold everybody, right? Like, who's the other edge rusher that they were talking about shopping? Johnson? No.
Let me get the roster pulled up.
I can't remember.
The name is on the tip of my tongue.
They were talking about shopping another edge rusher, Breece Hall.
Jeremiah Johnson, right?
Yes.
Jeremiah Johnson.
They were talking about shopping Breece Hall, right? So at that point, I would have just kept collecting draft picks. I would have went full on tank this year, and continue to go all in. They kind of cut it off after the next trade. But let's see. Thank God the Birds didn't get him. You should give up 3 firsts for him. Yeah, man. They give up 2, right? They gave up 2 and I believe a receiver, Adonai Mitchell or something. I believe.
Yeah, Adonai Mitchell, which was kind of a higher pick, right, in the draft. So It's decent. It's decent compensation. He's younger, so you'll get some usage out of him in New York. Yeah, they got some shit to figure out in New York with the Jets, right? In New Jersey. But no, the Jets got some shit to figure out. Obviously, that quarterback position they have to figure out. This coaching situation, Aaron Glenn coming in, they're what? Do they have one win, right? One win so far?
Yes.
One? They got one? Yeah. Okay, so he has one win in his first season. He's obviously a defensive-minded head coach, right? Coming from the defensive coordinator position with the Lions. It feels like they need an offensive wizard in the New York Jets organization.
They need a lot, man, right?
Whatever's been going on with that offense, man, because that offense has been bad for a while.
Yeah.
Slide in Aaron Rodgers, slide in Sam Darnold. Like, look at what Sam Darnold has done since he's left the New York Jets organization. Like, it is a good thing for Sauce ultimately. And if I was Breece Hall, if I was Garrett Wilson,
and
I would
think
be
that
that
is kind of the question, right? Like, yes, it's a very good thing that you're not winning anything right now. For God's sakes, you're 1-7. You've been a laughing stock of the league for the last half decade to decade plus, whatever it's been since they were competing for any sort of playoff atmosphere or AFC championships back when fucking Rex Ryan and Mark Sanchez were there, right? But it's like, all right, so you acquired 2 firsts for Sauce. Are either player going to be as good as Sauce Gardner? Is someone going to be as dominant as Quinnen Williams? When you know what I'm saying? So it's like you can stockpile all this ammunition in your artillery.
Yeah.
You already had some of the young talent in-house that you would be lucky to go get in future drafts. They have so many holes, man. If I was in charge of the Jets, I would have no idea what to do moving forward.
Yeah, no, I do feel that. I'm not sure what direction they go in. You have, Breece Hall, who's coming up. I believe his rookie contract is ending this year. You can fact check me there. I'm pretty sure I heard that on a recent show on NFL Network. Because it was discussing, like, why don't you trade Breece Hall this year? Are you going to pay him at the end of the season? Like, are you going to extend his contract? So that doesn't make sense. Garrett Wilson, man, just like wasting his career. But to be fair, he would be the one I hold on to if I was holding on to any of these guys over the other. Garrett Wilson is the one you hold on to, but man, I do think, to your point, Quinnen Williams, I think that one like makes a little bit of sense.
Yeah.
He's a little bit older. Like,
glad you said that. And
Sauce is 25.
He's great as a run stopper. I don't believe he has a sack or has like half a sack this year. I think he has like 2 total quarterback pressures on the entire year. Like, it has not been a good year for Quinnen Williams. It hasn't been a good year for the Jets at all. So it makes perfect sense for the New York Jets to do that.
It does.
Doesn't make too much sense for the team that traded for him to do that, though. Which I've been waiting to talk about this.
They're trying to fix their defense, huh?
I have been itching to talk about this with you, man. Jerry Jones. Jerry Jones sat up in his suite in Jerry World on Monday Night Football and watched his team lose 27-17 versus Jacoby Brissett and Zonovan Knight and fall to 3-5-1 at the midway point. And he said to himself, let's buy. We're not going to sell. Let's buy. Few months after selling away one of this generation's best pass rushers, he trades a first, a second, and former first-round pick in Mozzie Smith to the New York Football Jets for Quinnen Williams, who, like I just mentioned, has about 2 total quarterback pressures in 8 games for the Jets this season. They also traded for Logan Wilson, linebacker from, Cincinnati.
The worst defense the last 2 years.
So, Jerry, again, sat up there, watched his team fall to 3-5-1, lose to Jacoby Brissett at home. That offense, that Super Bowl contending offense.
MVP Dak.
scored 10 points because obviously 7 of the 17 came from the punt block and recovery in the end zone.
And look,
At home against the Arizona
I'm not
Cardinals.
for you. I had the over in that game, and who fell short?
Not the team anybody was expecting to fall short. Not the underdogs. That team.
The
so
home
I'm just
team.
going to talk about this with you, man. Yeah, the Jets again. I would give the Jets an A++ for this trade, and I would give a Jerry Jones. What the fuck are you doing? And it doesn't honestly. Why should it surprise us? Like, did it really surprise you when you saw that come across your phone screen or your television screen the other day when it said that the Cowboys were trading valuable draft assets for Quinnen Williams the other day? The morning after, the afternoon after what they did at home on Monday night.
Yeah.
It shouldn't surprise anybody because of who's calling those shots.
And
but it's just funny, man. I mean, you could just stick a fork in Dallas, not just for this year, but for the years to come. I mean, it's very, very, very funny what they're doing down there.
And this always, it doesn't matter how much you like it or not. It's always going to come back to Micah Parsons. And you always have to ask the question, why not pay that guy? Why not give your compensation to that guy, the best edge rusher in the NFL, potentially, right? At least for the next 10 years, he will be the best edge rusher in the NFL if he's not right now. And you let that go out the door.
Yeah.
So you can go get a good player.
Good. And by the way, I wasn't even peeping when Jose tapped in. I think we have a Cowboys fan.
I know.
In the
funny.
comments.
I thought that DC. I thought he meant DC Commanders. I was thinking Washington DC. My dumbass.
I didn't even peep. I mean, we appreciate you for tapping in, man. But he's praising Jerry for this move, man. Look, this is why Jerry Jones continues to do what he does. It's why the Cowboys continue to do what they do, and they'll remain irrelevant in my lifetime. Because you just a blind fan base that follows any move. And it's our year, man. It's our year. Double team king. Quinnen Williams, the double team king. You know who's the double team king? Number 11. One of the best defensive players in football. The guy you traded away. Buddy, look, I feel you need everything and anything you can get.
Yeah.
What did you need him for? What do you need Quinnen Williams for this year? Are you guys making the playoffs?
It's not even just that, though.
Playoff game, let alone
it's not even just that. It's not even just that. They don't need help on the interior of the defensive line. They traded Michael for Kenny Clark, right? He's a defensive fucking tackle. He's a nose tackle. You traded Micah for that guy. And you have another guy who's actually been good for them, Osa Digawasa or whatever the fuck his name is, however you pronounce that last name. He's actually been good from them on a pass rush standpoint, and he's going to get fluctuated to what, the third in the depth chart of DTs, nose tackles?
Yeah.
So it doesn't make sense. You should have added to the edge. That's what you gave up in Micah.
So that's what I was going to say, man. Like, all right, so you got a double team king. Who are you opening up on the outsides for? Like, bro, your defense is so bad. Like, it might not be 2024 Bengals bad, but it's very, very close. Like, your defense is a disaster. And your offense, which is supposed to be this dominant fucking force, scored 10 points at home on primetime against the Arizona Cardinals, bro. Like, like when you say need him, you need him for what? You're not going anywhere. And you just traded away a first and second round pick for him.
I'm trying to like present it in a way. There's no way I can present it as an Eagles fan that comes off unbiased.
I swear to God, this isn't even coming from being a Birds fan.
Like, the best way I can put it is that this would be maybe a good trade deadline if you didn't trade Micah Parsons at the beginning of the season. When you trade Micah Parsons, that's not going all in. So why are you going all in right now at 3-5-1, man? It makes zero sense. It's to get guys like Jose to buy them tickets and still attend those games the rest of the season.
We appreciate you for tuning in. I'm sorry you feel that way, but hit me with some of your football talk, man.
I can hit him with some stats here. Like Sauce Gardner, Williams' play has tailed off in recent years. He had a pressure rate of 12% in 2024, still quite good, and 8% so far this season, quite bad. His time to pressure is also falling, 2.74 seconds in 2022, his all-pro season, 2.79 seconds the following year, 3.02 the following, and then 3.16 the next. He's declining. That's facts. Those are the numbers, dog. Those are my numbers. Those are from ESPN. That's football for you.
I'm
not trying to hate on Quinnen Williams. He's a good player.
He's a good football player.
He's not elite. That's the point.
Right, and here's the thing. He's not going to help. You guys are not in a position. Your record's not stating it. Your defense overall is not stating. You are not in a position to trade future high draft pick assets, a first and a second, for a guy that's not going to help you win football games and get to a championship this year. And at the same time, Scotty, in the same trade, they traded away a guy in Mozzie Smith, who this same Jose-led fan base told us, yes.
I know what they said.
They said that Mozzie Smith was better than Jalen Carter. You just traded him away.
You know what Jalen Carter and Jordan Davis did for the Philadelphia Eagles?
Get to Super Bowls and win Super Bowls.
Yeah, led a defense to a Super Bowl fucking win. So let's not compare these guys, right? Yeah. I'm pretty happy with Jalen Carter and Jordan Davis, but hey, man, at the end of the day, if you don't trade the best pass rusher in the league, then it would be good trades, right?
Yeah.
Add Quinnen Williams to Micah Parsons' defensive line.
Yeah,
that's great.
That's great. You're cooking.
Yeah, but they didn't do that.
That's
they did
the funny thing, man. Just the back and forth, right?
So and can I add another thing?
Yeah, go ahead.
Can I add another thing? The rumors leading up to the deadline said Max Crosby to Dallas.
Yeah.
That's what the rumor said. So are you really okay with Quinnen Williams instead of Max Crosby? Instead of Trey Hendrickson? You got Logan Wilson instead of Trey Hendrickson, the actual 16.5 sack edge on the Bengals.
Yeah.
You went with Logan Wilson. Like, come on, man. Like,
appreciate
the
dudes
right themselves. It's not hating. Like, I promise you. I don't really have any beef with Dallas anymore, man.
Here's the funny part, and everyone else that's watching is probably like, "Oh Jesus!" When I started this conversation, I swear on my life, had nothing to do with the team behind me on the wall. I'm just purely looking. Yeah. I'm just purely talking about this trade and what Dallas.
Who are the losers of the deadline?
And from an outside perspective, like a non-hater perspective, it makes no sense. You're a team that is talked about as America's team, and you're constantly trying to go after Super Bowls and win Super Bowls. And your owner started out this year by trading away Micah Parsons. And then at the deadline, you guys aren't 5-3-1. You're 3-5-1. The morning after you lose to fucking Jacoby Brissett at home, you trade a first and a second for a non-pass rushing defensive tackle as if you're going all in on the season. That's ludicrous. The fact that you, my man, are a fan of this team, because here's keeping it real, Jose. Here's keeping it turf talk. If the Eagles were in this much dysfunction and did what you guys are doing, did what Howie did, what Jerry Jones is doing, Scotty and I would not be on here praising the trade, saying we needed this trade.
If we traded Jalen Carter,
furious with the direction that they're going.
If we traded Jalen Carter, and to be clear, Jalen Carter is not as good as Micah Parsons. If we traded Jalen Carter
at the beginning,
I'm coming on here and I'm cooking Howie. Like, no, we do not do that. We trade Quinyon Mitchell.
Right. Before the year, and then be sub 500 and trade for a lesser talented guy and give up first round draft picks at the deadline. Like, that is so dysfunctional. That's why you guys make me laugh.
If they got the W against the Cardinals.
Like, you somehow up here defend it. Like it's good or even normal to do
but we need Sauce.
General manager is doing.
But we need Sauce. I thought he was giving us praise, but he's a Cowboys fan. I see what he meant by that.
I didn't pick up that, Jose. Yeah,
I didn't pick it up. Yeah,
for life. I wasn't getting the Dallas Cowboys for
life. I'm not familiar with those.
No, I was literally acronyms. Like, I gotta ask what this is. But listen, man, it's all fun. Like I'm.
It's all good.
Even if I'm yelling, I'm not yelling. But Yeah, it would be dysfunctional to be happy with that. But with that said, man, any other trade, some action? The Seahawks go out. It's not a humongous deal, but they go out and get Rashid Shaheed from New Orleans, another offensive weapon for Sam Darnold next to JSN, can take the top off of a defense. Yeah. Jacksonville trades for Jacoby Myers, which you talk about dysfunction in Vegas, man. Like he requested a trade in the right before the season started. They told him no. And then you traded him midway through the season after you guys are stinking. His value probably tanked a bit.
To another dysfunctional passing offense. Yeah. I don't know.
So besides those two, obviously we talked about the Eagles trades on the other show. Anything else catch your eye from this deadline?
I did like the Shaheed addition in Seattle, man. I think he was kind of going under the radar, if you want to say that, in New Orleans. Nobody's paying attention to what guys are doing in New Orleans right now, even if they're having like semi-good seasons. I think Rashid Shaheed was actually having a pretty decent season. He showed flashes over the last couple of years that he can, take the top off of the defense. So I think just adding that to a Seahawks group that is looking good, man, just to say the least about them right now, like they're, just to put it simply out there, they are looking very good, especially offensively. They got a defensive-minded head coach. So I just like the fact that they were willing to go out and try to improve the team around Sam Darnold, because obviously they're playing some good football right now. One thing I did want to – it's actually a team that didn't make a move, but, after I heard the rumor, I was just like, man, why did they not do this? The New England Patriots, man, and Chris Olave, that is the one where I'm just like, man, I think they might have.
Did that have any motion? I didn't see anything.
Maybe the Saints just aren't willing to part ways, or maybe the asking price is, 3 first-round picks or something.
Right.
I don't know, man. If you're going after A.J. Brown every time he's in the news headline,
right.
Go out and get Chris Olave. He's actually younger than A.J. Brown. He fits the Drake May timeline. I just thought that would be like a perfect fit. Him or Garrett Wilson. Those guys are just stuck in like some horrible situations. And obviously Drake May's having a fantastic season, but New England, maybe they feel good about what they got. I mean, maybe Stephon Diggs is playing all right.
Yeah, it's not going to be good enough.
And Booty, a lot of these weeks.
Yeah. Let me ask you getting a lot of work, team, man. That did just beat the team that had the previous best record in football. The Pittsburgh Steelers. Trying to fend off Lamar returning, and they're 5-3 right now. They play the Chargers on Sunday night. Are you shocked that they didn't go out and make any noise? Maybe add something across from DK Metcalf or something to help.
Oh, you didn't hear?
What'd I miss?
They added Marquez Valdes-Scantling. No, I saw this article on ESPN today, and it was like Aaron Rodgers and MVS are all smiles after relinking in Pittsburgh, and it's just like, all right, man. Maybe with Aaron Rodgers, maybe the chemistry. I don't know.
I don't know either, bro. But yeah, I think that about sums up the trade deadline. There were obviously some teams that went all in, some teams that went in pretty stupidly, and some teams
Who's
that
your winner?
Who's your winner?
Like number one winner, I guess.
I mean, not like just this past week, like regardless of just the trade deadline, like the Eagles didn't play a game and slid into the number 1 seed in the NFC. Because all these other teams that are too focused or people are too focused, I don't even want to accuse the teams of being focused on us. People, national media, are too focused on examining how these other teams fit against the Eagles or the Eagles' weaknesses and blah, 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 blah. And they can't take care of their own business while Howie's going out and addressing cornerback with 2 guys that could help and going out and getting what is now the best pass rusher that was traded at the deadline in Jalen Phillips. Yeah, the rich got richer. They're the best team in football. And we'll move into Lambeau where they are underdogs.
Underdogs.
Monday Night Football, which we'll have plenty more to say about in the future.
It's honestly a good thing. It's a good thing.
I like it, man. But speaking of getting into some game action before we take a look at our updated power rankings and all, which just as I said that, realized I didn't type them in here on the screen. So we're just going to have to willy-nilly it as the show continues. Completely forgot about it. However, Speaking of one team in our division being a joke, the Dallas Cowboys, another team in our division being a joke, which I find even funnier at this point. I take even greater excitement in this team being a joke. And that's what's that record say? 3-6. Are the Commanders 3-6?
R.I.P. R.I.P. to the thought of the Commanders. The thought, because they never
give a
were.
round of applause. Let's give a round of applause to the 2024 run that the Washington Commanders had and the offseason that I didn't even know of a fan base that existed. I didn't even know these people existed outside of like one podcast that talks about the Commanders.
Yeah.
And my timeline was flooded this offseason.
DC folks came out.
Man,
yeah.
I didn't know giving up 55 in the NFC Championship game and getting hosed by your division rival wasn't enough to shut you the fuck up.
Bought confidence.
You kept talking and you kept talking and you kept talking. And all while you're doing all that yapping, your team goes out and puts together quite literally the oldest roster I've ever seen acquired. Like, this is the Los Angeles Clippers of the National Football League on a way lower level. You don't have any Kawhi Leonards roaming around. You don't have a James Harden over here. Hell, you don't have a Bradley Beal with that awful contract over here. You got none of it. You got a kid, and I feel bad for him. Dan, that's just not the injury at all, but it's just another level of why that team is so funny. Dan Quinn leaves their franchise quarterback out there year 2 of his young career, leaves him out there in an absolute rout, and he takes another injury. This one looked pretty gross when it happened. They lose 38-14. Sam Darnold at halftime was like 16 for 16 for 250, 3 touchdowns, whatever the fuck it was.
Yeah.
That defense is putrid.
Toast.
They can't run the ball. They're always injured. Like they're just like I told you before the year would start, man. They are the most overhyped team in the National Football League.
Should have known when they were getting hype, chanting Bill and shit. Like, dog, ain't no running back named Bill. No good running back.
No, bro.
But yeah, the Jaden Daniels shit is so typical. The Jaden Daniels shit is so typical of that franchise, man. And it sucks that he went there because he is a hell of a talent. He is a hell of a player. But that's exactly how you don't take care of your young quarterback. Terry McLaurin's not out there. Debo's beat up. Why is he out there in a 31-7 game or some shit?
Hosed, bro.
Made zero sense.
Look, and I know he's missed time, but like this is just another thing that I take. I don't take pride in it, I guess. But like when we talk about our quarterback and we listen to people rank quarterbacks or compare him to other quarterbacks, and like Jaden Daniels has a 51.8 quarterback rating this year. I mean, what? Like I know he's missed 2 games now. He's about to miss more at this point, but like. I don't know. He's 8 in passing touchdowns. That's 25th in the league. He's 27th in passing yards. He's 21st in QBR. He only has 2 picks, but he also has a couple fumbles on the year. Like I don't know, man. Jaden Daniels is a very, very good quarterback. Jaden Daniels, I had him inside my top 10. I probably still do. I still would. But like the people that just after one fucking season, like they used to do with CJ Stroud, like they did with Jordan Love, people had Brock Purdy, all this nonsense. Oh, he's top 5 or he's 6 and he's better than this. No, he's not. No, he's just simply not. Because I got news for you guys. He didn't get injured until they were down by 100. So where was he at home in a big game on primetime football when the game mattered? Didn't do a goddamn thing.
I think he is better than CJ Stroud, and I think he's better than Jordan Love. I think he's better than those guys.
Better than both of them. I'm talking about how people watched 1 year of these guys.
He's like 6 or 7-ish for me,
and threw them right up into the top of the conversations. Put them right on a pedestal.
It's hard for us not to be a little salty about how these QB conversations go. I mean, you just constantly get gaslit as an Eagles fan about QB play because
it makes me feel insane.
Because there's another guy.
Like my eyes aren't seeing what other people's.
There's another
same picture.
MVP candidate this past weekend that turned the ball over 5 times in one game.
Who would that be?
That would be Daniel Jones of the
Oh,
Indianapolis Colts, the guy that
oh,
is on this bounce back tour and
yeah,
MVP's up there with the best quarterbacks in the
yeah.
league. He could win with the Eagles roster, and
Mm. But Scotty threw for 340 yards. He had a great game. Get the fuck out of here, man. Like, just the way that you guys view and talk about play, like this guy, Justin Herbert won a football game. That's all that matters at the end of the day. No one knows that more than us. We preach a win is a win is a win. It doesn't matter how ugly. Justin Herbert went into Tennessee and beat Cam Ward and the Titans by one score through a pick six. Tennessee had a punt return or a punt block touch. All this shit. Like, he didn't play. Jordan Love, for Christ's sake, just keeps making the most boneheaded plays, turning the football over when it matters the most. They lose at home to the Panthers, 16-13. They've lost to the Browns this year. Dude, I'm so sick and tired of hearing about these contenders and these teams that just quite literally aren't on the same platform. They're not on the same level. Oh, the Rams are the biggest threat. They lost to the Eagles again this year. Oh, the Bucs have their number. They lost to the Eagles this year. I know we're not on Faithful Fanatics right now, but I can't help but scroll down the laundry list, the CVS receipt that's in front of me of just mess that other contenders or other great quarterbacks put together this past week, and just listen to how they're talked about after they fuck up.
I got an opposite end of an example.
You got a positive? What you got?
Is Brock Purdy a system quarterback? I want everybody to answer the question now.
Yeah.
Mac Jones, how many games has Mac Jones won with the San Francisco 49ers?
A lot.
And how many games has George Kittle
missed?
Brandon Ayuk. How many games have these guys played? Juwan Jennings has missed games this season. But they call Jalen Hurts a system quarterback. You know what I mean? Like, but we were hearing that Brock Purdy led the 49ers to the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
And he's elite, top 5. That accuracy, he gets the ball out quick. What's Mac Jones do? Like, what is that not the definition of a system quarterback?
I agree. Listen,
Shanahan's
let me go down. Like, Jared Goff and that Lions offense just lost at home to J.J. McCarthy and the Vikings, who we went into their crib and beat. And Jalen, you know what I mean? Like, and Goff had a good game. The Lions couldn't simply run the ball in this one, so it's not like, you know, I'm comparing the quarterback play here, but like, you lost to J.J. McCarthy in his first game back after he looked like a peewee football player in the first 2 weeks of the season. Like, that's like, let me go down this list of quarterbacks that I would give outside. I'm not even going to include the Eagles or include Jalen in this talk. Here's who I would give, and I know we're going to talk midseason awards on Sunday, right? But the quarterbacks that I respect this year, the quarterbacks that I would put like playing wise that I trust and deserve to be praised this year are Josh Allen, are Drake May. I mean, obviously, you know, they lost, but like Patrick is doing ridiculous things and he's the best in the league, so I'll keep him in there. Are Sam Darnold, Baker Mayfield, and I'll say Bo Nix. Am I leaving anyone off of this list that deserves to be talked about?
Did you say Stafford?
No, you are correct. Matthew Stafford. Matthew Stafford belongs in there. Obviously, like you mentioned, like a Mac Jones. I'm talking about like the guys that are their team's guys, like the guys that people talk about as like MVP level guys. That's who I would include. Like you can keep throwing the Niner stuff in our face. You can keep throwing the Daniel Joneses, the Justin Herberts, the Jordan Loves, the yada yada. I don't care. I don't buy into any of it.
I will say one thing positive. I feel like we a little haterade.
Jose brought out the worst in me tonight.
But a positive, man, I will say, and it's for the New York Football Giants, man. I think Jackson Dart is all right. I think he's all right. I think he's a guy.
Very big of you to say, Scotty.
I do think he's a guy, man. I was just watching that San Fran New York game, and obviously they didn't win. They ended up losing by double digits. But he makes plays. You know what I mean? He can make plays with his legs. He's very instinctually sound. He's an interesting player. If they could put some things together around it. They haven't really Neighbors, man. They have Cam Scatterbo on IR, but like you know what I mean, man. If they can put some things around him, it's interesting nonetheless. Just to give a little bit of praise out. But
if you are a Giants fan, it has to be the most positive you felt within a bad season in quite some time. Like the future is set up right now. How does Scatterbo come back from that awful injury? How does Neighbors come back from the Achilles or ACL or whatever he popped or tore? That's all going to be determined, right? Like, do they come back the same guys? Does Neighbors come back and be a top 6 wide receiver, top 5? What does Scatterbo run with the same intensity and level of anger? I don't know. But you know,
my dynasty squad hopes,
assuming that modern medicine does its thing and those guys come back 100%. Then the future
they might be back in 6 months with modern medicine.
Yes, the way that Cam Scatterbo looks, fucking right.
I got one more question for you before I don't know if you wanted to take it to another place before we go to power rank.
Brother, doesn't matter.
Well, yeah, let me just throw in here. I got a question for you, to be more exact. Did the win against Kansas City reinstill your faith in Buffalo?
No.
Faith as a contender.
Well, yeah. Look, yes, I think that obviously they needed to win more than Kansas City did to just keep themselves in that because at the end of the day, the Bills are going to be one of the top 5-ish teams in the National Football League, top 4 maybe even, right? And you have Josh Allen who's playing at an MVP level almost every week in, week out. But like when you ask me that question, the first thing that comes to mind is, well, I've seen them do this before. Like I've seen this same movie. I've seen him beat Patty in the regular season.
Yeah.
Now I know that's unfair. That's unfair to just say, well, I have to wait to see because you're only asking me off of what's going on right now. But no, if you line that shit up right now, doesn't matter what stadium, it can be in Buffalo in the middle of January, and this is the AFC divisional round. No, I'm taking Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs.
That's fair.
Until I'm proven otherwise. But yes, ultimately, the Bills are in Super Bowl contention.
Yeah, because
in fact, they're probably over a lot of teams.
I guess maybe it would have been a better question for me to answer because I'm thinking, from my thoughts before this game, I was worried that the Bills were cooked. Just getting ran through like that against Atlanta is obviously concerning. But then obviously you took the L against the New England Patriots, who just keep winning football games. So to your point, the Bills did need this W. They needed it more than Kansas City. They needed to get back on the right track. But yeah, I guess it did kind of reinstill my faith in them as just like a top team in the AFC, to your point.
Yeah, for sure.
What their defense was able to do, it was impressive against Patrick Mahomes. Maybe Mahomes had a little bit of an off day, but
we thought they were cooked. But yeah, I mean, obviously, when you talk about the AFC right now, I mean, it would come to those two teams, and we'll see how the Colts bounce back after a loss, right? And
can I ask you another question?
Yeah.
Is the AFC still the strongest conference?
No.
Did it flip this year? Because of the Ravens, I'm guessing, right? Like the Ravens have been that other.
The Ravens put a massive. So here's the thing: over this year specifically, the Ravens put a major gash in it. You can say that India slid up a long ways and replaced them, but like Houston and Stroud were a team that were always like top 4-ish over there. Burrow is always going to keep Cincinnati relevant, right?
Yeah.
So you had the quarterback play that just outdid the rest of the league, right? But when I look at it team by team, and I think of the Eagles, I think of the Lions, I think of the Rams, like
Bucks.
If you want to throw in the Bucks and the Packers, like to me, there are about 5 teams in the NFC that can all beat the Kansas City Chiefs, who I would put at the top of the AFC.
Has Buffalo and Seattle played?
Seattle. That's a guy I didn't even mention them, and that's probably a shame on me.
Because I was just that's the matchup that came to mind, and I'm like, I might go Seattle. Like I don't know. I would have to see it because it is Josh Allen versus Sam Darnold. It is,
and who's right?
But
does good old Sammy boy flashback to because you got to remember Minnesota
playoff.
last year. You got to remember, Minnesota, that regular
That flashed
season,
in my
14
head.
wins, unfucking believable year from Sam Darnold. Shit his pants against the Rams in the playoff game. So
it's so true. That's what flashed in my head. That's why I had to walk it back a little bit.
1,000% will make a difference.
Great matchup, though. I think it just speaks to the NFC and, kind of I don't want to say dominance, but the success that they've had this season. Even San Fran, winning without some of their key players. So it's interesting.
I agree, bro. With that said, look, I got your text pulled up. We're going to roll with what we have here because I completely forgot before the show to update everything. So
maybe the viewers, if you're out there, maybe you can help us decide on some of these because there were a few I sent you that I was just kind of in between. 1 and 2 specifically, I was in between on. But yeah, let's get into it.
All right, let's be a little less biased, right? Does this would I pick them to beat the Eagles today? No. But I'll give credit where credit's due. Coming in at number 1, you're 7-2, Denver Broncos out in the AFC, 6-game winning streak. They're winning in different ways. Like we've seen the come from behind victory against New York, and that was ridiculous. We've seen the defense step up. Surtain is hurt right now. So we'll see how big of a hole that remains for Denver. Bo Nix is playing incredibly well. They are getting RJ Harvey more acclimated next to J.K. Dobbins. And, when the team that we're battling with, the Eagles, they did beat them head-to-head a few weeks ago at the Link. So I have to give that credit to the Denver Broncos coming in at number 1. Coming in at number 2 is the Eagles, 6-2 coming out of the bye week. Had the upgrades throughout the trade deadline, obviously defensively. A.J. Brown practiced today. Saquon Barkley practiced today, getting healthier. To me, they're the best team in the league, but I can't give them the edge over the team they lost to in Denver. Number 3, we have the Los Angeles Rams. 4, the New England Patriots, also on a 6-game winning streak. I'm not going to lie to you, bro. I know you picked them as a preseason, sweetheart of yours, like a team to keep an eye on. I was not expecting anything like this from
7-2.
They are a legit team out in the AFC under Mike Vrabel. That defense, the way that Drake May is throwing the football to essentially just not a ton of talent, right? Like you mentioned the Stephon Diggs thing earlier, that would have been cool 4 years ago. 4 years ago, Stephon Diggs with this Drake May would have been awesome.
Yeah.
We'll see how it continues to play out. Coming in at number 5, the 6-2 Bucks. Number 6, the Colts. We'll come back to that. Did the Colts take too much of a hit for us? We'll see, but we put them at number 6. 7, the 6-2 Bills. 8, the 6-2 Seahawks. 9, the 6-3 49ers. And 10, the Green Bay Packers hang on by a thread at 5-2-1. And then you have a bunch of teams that can all be circled and mentioned right outside of there. The 5-3 Chargers, the 5-3 Lions. The list goes on and on, man. You mentioned parity around the league a few weeks ago, and it still remains true for the most part. But I cannot. I'm being serious. I can't remember a year. This is season 3 or 4. Season 4 of us doing Turf Talk now. Every single week for the most part together. I can't remember being halfway through a season and talk about 7-2, 6-2, 6-2, 6-2, 6-3. I don't remember this
5
many
teams.
Great teams. So it's interesting.
No, just starting at the top. I think it's something we always harp on this show. Obviously, being Eagles fans, there's a little bit that comes with that. In the way the Eagles win games, right? And it's often talked about how the Eagles won a game. And it's often that we have to refute that. Excuse me there. Have to refute that statement by saying winning is all that matters, right? And that's what the Broncos are doing right now. Bo Nix has turned the ball over a couple times the last few weeks, but they're still finding ways to close out games strong. They obviously have a top defense. But to your point, I'm with you. I still mentally, no, they're not better than the Eagles, but reality, they did beat the Eagles in Philadelphia somehow. So they did do that. The defense stepped up. They scored 18 points in one quarter at the end of a game against us, and
they like
it happened, man. So got to give credit where it's due. To your point about the Colts, I feel you. I think it's tough, man. We got to see it week to week when you lose like that. Right. And it's not just
they got bullied. They got bullied.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it. And 5 turnovers from your quarterback that he's having a great season. He's starting to look like a different player.
but
don't have that Sam Darnold
yeah.
moment in the playoffs last year, right? But that's what he had in mid-season form right now, and that does worry me. Does this start a turnover streak for Daniel Jones? Sure. Right? So, yeah, it's interesting. But
Terry's comment, man, Terry, let me pull them back up. Defending her Niners, I respect it. Says the Niners at 9. LOL, Scotty. She doesn't like it. She's not too.
Where would you like them, Terry? I'm curious. I mean,
that's all I would like to know. Not saying they shouldn't be higher. And I'll say this: given the hand that they've been dealt with all of the injuries, you can make a strong case that should even raise them another level because it's more credit to them. But when you take those injuries into account, and I'm looking at the teams 6-2, 7-2, 6-2, all that we have above them. When they play each other, who would I take right now? Now, you can argue they did beat Seattle earlier in the season, did they not? So,
if they didn't lose to the Texans, what? Was that 2 weeks ago? 2 weeks
ago, yeah.
If they didn't lose to the Texans, they would probably be higher than what? Maybe higher than the Seahawks. Maybe. I don't know. Maybe. Seahawks have been impressive, man.
It's tough, man. That is the thing about these rankings, like we mentioned, with all these 6+ win teams at that point. Like, you don't hit a 5-win team until number 10, and they're 5-2-1.
Right. They have 2 losses.
And if they take care of business last week the way they should have, they'd be 6-1-1 after beating the Panthers. So it's like,
they would have the best record in the league.
Yeah, that's how quick things can slide, and there's so many good teams. But I've said this before, Terry, like Kyle Shanahan to me would have my coach of the year vote. Like, I know people are going to obviously go crazy over Steichen and what he's doing in Indianapolis. You could mention Vrabel. You can mention a lot of teams, a lot of coaches. But the fact that Shanahan continues to do this, like all right, fair point. Like, we had the Rams up at 2. The Niners beat the Rams in LA so it's like, it is tough. To your point, she would roll with number 7. I can't say that I strongly disagree.
I feel that.
We'll see where
the Rams, man. The Rams have been like dominating teams the last couple of weeks. That's why I wanted to give them a little bit of credit. But I feel they lost to them earlier this year. Lost to the Eagles. That's it, though. I mean, San Fran with 5 wins right now. Or 6 wins, 6-3, and the Eagles with 6 wins right now beat the Rams. Those aren't bad losses ultimately, and they're dogging these bad teams. They're doing what the Packers should be doing to these bad teams.
Yes, so 1,000%.
Yeah, the Rams. That offense is moving. Devontae Adams, man, just touchdown after touchdown. He's having like multiple touchdown
flashback,
multiple touchdown games. It's wild, but makes sense, I guess, with the gunslinger Stafford and Adams, big target in the end zone. It makes sense, I guess, but it's working out.
Be dangerous again come postseason time, no doubt. We welcome it, Terry. I welcome it.
Yeah.
Speaking of shit, this Thursday night game.
The show tonight. Shit show.
Raiders Broncos, man. Before we get out of here, you texted me earlier. You got any plays? I have nothing for you. I truly, I mean, I can go and try to find a touchdown score. Maybe I don't know. Should the Broncos beat the Raiders at home by 10? Yes,
they should.
Am I laying it on a short week? Probably not. 42.5, 43 point total. Seems like a low total. It's going to look pretty hefty if the Raiders can't score fucking 14, right? And maybe they're not able to. So
I do like the over, man. I texted that to you before the show. The Raiders, as bad as they are, they were able to put up 29 on the Jags, which the Jags have a pretty sturdy defense. Gino. The thing I'm looking at, Gino got Brock Bowers back, which is obviously the number one weapon.
Big, but then you traded away Jacoby Myers.
Brock Bowers last game, 12 receptions, 127 yards, 3 tutties.
Right.
He's a weapon. So I do. I think the Raiders can get a couple scores, but I also think the Broncos, coming off a low scoring game against the Texans where their offense struggled, Bo Nix turned the ball over. They could use a get right game. Maybe they score 30 plus, but I do kind of like the over, man. It just feels a little low, but no, I feel you. To say I love anything in this game, no, I wouldn't call it a best bet.
No. No.
Yeah,
But,
wouldn't call it a best bet. Touchdown score. I mean, you can't pick a running back from the Broncos because either one of them could score.
Let's take the old gander.
Cortland Sutton. I mean, their wide receivers are random. Evan
There's
Ingram.
there is a live TD score boost, Scotty. So
damn, I'm gonna have to take something, ain't I?
And listen, man, here's the thing: everybody's low. J.K. Dobbins is minus 105. Everybody else is plus money in tonight's game.
Interesting.
Ashton Genty plus 130. Cortland Sutton plus 145. Brock Bowers plus 165. R.J. Harvey plus 220. Evan Ingram plus 300. Bo Nix to run one in plus 350.
Man, Bo Nix.
Broncos defensive / special teams plus 500.
I'm not going to lay the live boost on Brock Bowers, but I might lay Brock Bowers, Teddy. Just because I have him on my dynasty squad, so it's like a win-win type of thing for me. You know what I mean? I'm going to be rooting for it anyways. And maybe if the Raiders score once, maybe it's.
One would think, man. One would think if they're going to find the end zone, it would be that.
I'm not going heavy in this at all. No, to your point. We don't got a ton of NBA tonight either.
What I am going heavy on? Appalachian State versus Georgia Southern. Give me the over.
Hell yeah.
Isn't that funny though, man? Like, is it like
it's hilarious?
Listen, we just said that the Broncos Raiders game sucks.
Shit.
But I'm over here like, yo, App State, Georgia Southern.
They're over there watching that school.
If I had to give you the stamp on ESPN2 tonight, give you the stamp at 7:30, that game's going over. Those defenses stink, and those offenses can move the ball good enough to put up points. It is a high total. It's like 60.5, but all it down to like 59, 58, somewhere in that ballpark. Have yourself a night.
Yeah, run it up.
There's another game. There's UTSA versus South Florida, which South Florida could score 70 on any given weekend. But that total is like 67.5. And while it's only a touchdown more than the other game, it's just a lot, man. And I would never lay I learned my lesson. I took an unders in a South Florida game like 3-4 weeks ago on a Friday night, bro. I took under 70.5. Oh, Scotty, they combined for 96 points.
Like, I can't do unders. It depends. If I'm not watching it, then I can do an under. But I can't sit there and root for no points, goals, scores, whatever you want to call it. Like, I just can't. But if I'm not watching it, then yeah, we can just tuck it away and look at it when it's over. I'm fine with that. But I hate sweating the unders. Don't mind sweating an over for some reason.
No, bro, and
that hurts sometimes too.
You know what's funny about that? Like tonight, so I have the over, so I'm going to watch. The way that the clock works against you on either side, like if you have the over, it feels like the clock is moving so fast. It feels like the first quarter flies by. If you have an under and you're just hoping teams stay out of the end zone, it feels like the clock is just nonstop stopped. The first quarter drags along. Oh, here comes 17 points in the first quarter because it felt so long. It's like, hopefully the play clock or the clock drags out for us. But all right, that is going to do it, obviously, for this week 9 recap show. We will be back Sunday morning, either pre-recorded or live. You'll know for answering your comments or not. Sunday around 11 a.m. We'll be live tomorrow afternoon on the Faithful Fanatic Show. The Sixers lose their back-to-back in Chicago in heartbreaking fashion. Cannot wait to speak to Pumper and Martian about it. And then lose in Cleveland last night. And there he is. There he is. The way that he will turn on his own very quickly. We'll be live talking about those two games and the upcoming weekend.
That is dedication, respect.
It's respect. Honestly, bro, I'm trying to teach myself to just remain calm around Pumper because I almost admire his way of just hating. Like he's
a patient hater too. He's not just in here like hating. He just came in when he's mentioned. That's respect.
And and not just that, like he'll sit out when things are going good. You won't hear from him. The second that 1 week or one game or one stretch is bad, it's sell the whole goddamn team.
He's got
I almost admire the
he's got a troll nickname for VJ Edgecombe, the Rookie of the Year leader. Maybe not at this point. I don't know what the odds are looking like right now, but they haven't changed.
We're going to talk about tomorrow. I'm not going to go on this rant now.
VJ Edgecombe.
He's been less aggressive over like a 3-game span. Like he was very aggressive through 4 or 5 games, a little less aggressive over the last 3 games. Relax.
Last night was a back-to-back, man. It was his first back-to-back. Am I mistaken in that? Was that the first one of the season?
Not just that, like VJ Edgecombe was the least of the Sixers' issues last night.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he didn't do too much offensively to help the cause, but like they were getting killed on the offensive glass. They turned the ball over like double-digit times by halftime. They shot like 60-some% from the free throw line. They were terrible all around. Even Maxey, who had a really good game,
they looked like they were playing
making mistake after mistake at times.
Yeah, turned the ball over like 5 times. So
yeah. So we'll talk about it. Is it going to be a positive show tomorrow? Absolutely not, Pumper. Don't worry. I'm not going to come on there with my hat on and be like, listen, we'll analyze game by game. When it's bad, I'll yell at it. When it's good, fucking respect it. So
to be fair, I was pissed on Tuesday night, to be clear.
Ryan,
Martin, anybody out there?
That is like last night. Last night was why that collapse Tuesday can't happen.
Exactly.
You knew you were losing last night. Now, did I know they were going to be down by 25 in the fourth quarter? No. But you knew you weren't walking into Cleveland, getting Darius Garland back, knowing Joel and McCain are back on the shelf for the back-to-back.
Yeah.
You knew you weren't winning that ball game. So to blow a 20-plus point lead in Chicago the night prior with everybody, that hurt, man.
That's
and now it's trying to find a way back to positivity land. Look, they got a back-to-back this weekend. It's at home, and the throwbacks are back this weekend. So maybe it'll rejuvenate them a little bit. But
can we win an NBA Cup game?
Seriously, for myself, for Scotty, for DSM Media, and for Turf Talk, make sure to subscribe, follow, all that good stuff. We will talk to you guys tomorrow. Peace out.
Peace, everybody. Appreciate y'all.